Okay, so here we go. So we're in Unit 1, lecture homework. Whoops, number 2. This should say number 2, shouldn't it? So we're doing the Mayan system this morning. And let's talk about the Mayan system. Let's remember, why in the world are we doing these weird things again? Why are we doing Mayan? We did Roman last time. It's to help us better understand our own system. So with that in mind, let's start with our system. Let's start with a number from our system, 5,382. I'm just going to write a normal system. Here's a normal number from our system. That's just a normal number from our system. Okay, now you guys know how this works, right? The 5 is, what's the place value there? The 5 is in the what's place?
Thousand.
Thousands place, right? Right? We all know the 5 is in the thousands place. What about the 3? What's the place value there?
Hundreds.
Hundreds place, exactly. The 8 is in the tens place, and the 2, that's just the ones place, right? So
Yeah.
that you know. Well, you know that so well that it's even hard to kind of think about it intentionally. You just know it. And but for people that are brand new to it, you're going to be teaching younger folks who are not so familiar with it. Let me help you think about what we are really doing when we do stuff in our system. Here's what I mean. Notice as you go from place to place, what are you multiplying by every time? Every time to what times 1 makes 10, and what times 10 makes 100, and what times 100 makes 1,000? What do you multiply every time by to jump?
10.
You're multiplying by 10, aren't you? 1 times 10 is 10, and 10 times 10 is 100, times 10 again is 1,000, etc. That's why we say that our system is a base 10 system. I don't know if you've ever heard that before, but our system is a base 10 system. What that means is the place values jump by 10. We start with the ones place, and you go times 10 is the tens place, times 10 is the hundreds place, times 10 is the thousands place. So we have a base 10 system. That's going to be really weird for younger folks to think about when you first teach it to them. They're not going to understand why the 5, well, why is this number so different from, why aren't these numbers the same, right? They have the same 4 numbers. They both got a 5, 3, and 8, and a 2. We just rearranged them. Is that a big deal? Well, yeah, it is a big deal, isn't it? You know that quite well. It's because the place matters. We have a place value system. You know that quite well. Well, to help you think on that more intentionally, we're going to do the Mayan system today. And the Mayan system is kind of like our system. It's more like our system than the Roman. We did the Roman just to show you a non-base, a system that was not place value, right? Remember the Roman that we did last time? If you do V1, that's 6. If you do V11, that's 7. This V just means 5, no matter where it's at, right? There's no place value. There's not a place value in the Roman system. It doesn't matter the place of the V. Wherever the V is, it just means 5. But in our system, if the 5 is way out here, it's 5,000. And if the 5 is somewhere else, it means 5 something different, because we have a place value system. Well, the Mayan system is a base 20 place value system. So it's a good one to study. That's why people study the Mayan system in this course, because it's good. It'll give us good perspective on our own system. The Mayan system is base 20. How so? Well, they start, and they go up instead of sideways. So they start in the bottom and they make that the ones place. Do that a little bit better. So on the bottom is the ones place, and then they go up from there and it's the 20s place. And then they go up from there. See what they're doing? They're multiplying by 20, just like we multiply by 10 every time as we jump from place to place. The Mayans, their system multiplied by 20 every jump from place to place. So what is 20 times 20? 400. This is the 400s place. And then they do it again, times 20, and this is the 8,000s place, etc. That's as far as we're going to go. So that's how the Mayan system works. Theirs is a base 20 system, and it goes, and so it starts at the ones, and it goes times 20, times 20, times 20, a base 20 place value system. Okay, and not only that, they have some symbols. Let me tell you how their symbols work. The dot is their 1, and the bar is their 5. So that's how they make their numbers. So, for example, if they wanted to, well, let me leave it at that for a minute, and I'll let you copy that down, and then I'll do an actual example. So today, I hope you're able to open your homework to Unit 1, homework number 2, lecture homework number 2. And there's going to be 4 questions there. The first 2 are going to start with the Mayan system, which I'm about to do, and go in and make the number regular. And then the last 2, number 3 and 4, will go backwards. They'll go from regular back to Mayan, which is much more difficult. So let's do the first 2. Questions I can answer so far?
So how could we differentiate between the 5 and the 1's place? Because I know that could probably be a little difficult to like differentiate.
Right. I hear you. And I'm watching the chat box too. Feel free to chat any questions too. Yeah. So there's a difference between the values of the numbers and the place value. So these are the place values. So for example, what if they wanted to do the number 3, 7, 12, 4? How would they represent that in the Mayan system? 3 dots in the 1's place. And then 7, how are they going to make 7, do you guys think, using these symbols?
They're going to use the 5 and then probably 2 dots, correct?
There you go. Yeah, right on. A bar and 2 dots. Right. So they put 3 dots here, a bar and 2 dots. 12, they're going to have to use 2 of the bars, right? 5 and 5 is 10. 11, 12. So there's a 12 in the 400s place. And then here's 4 in the 8,000s place. So there would be a Mayan number. Now, I'm not, I just want to give you one example. I'm going to get to the homework. But there, for example, would be a Mayan number, what it would look like. They stack up, they go up as the place values go higher. So they're tall. Their numbers are tall. All right. So let's dive into the homework. If you're okay with that, I'm going to dive in. I'm going to switch to my actual homework here. Oops, it logged me out. Let me log in here. All right. All right. Okay, so here's my lecture homework. Here's my first question. I'll do my number 1. You're going to have something a little different. Same idea, though. Page here. All right. And we'll move it over where you can see it. Okay, so here we go. So here is my question number 1. So how do we, they're giving us this weird looking Mayan number right here. Whoops, this strange looking Mayan number. And it's got this symbol, this symbol, this symbol. And they want us to change this thing into a normal number. So how are we going to get this weird looking thing? How are we going to change this into a normal number? Well, let's first off identify this is the number 6, right? Because it's got a bar and a 1. It's 5 and 1, and this is the number what? 5, 5, 1. It's number 11. This is the number 4. Good so far. And now let's put in the place values. What are the place values? Well, the place values, you don't need to memorize it. Remember, you get a full sheet of notes on the exam. You can put anything you want, both sides of a full sheet of notes. This is the 1's place. the 20s place, and the 400s place. So just put that right in your notes. Okay, now, how are we going to figure out what this actual number is? Write it over here. To go Mayan to normal. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to go from this weird looking Mayan number to a normal number. What do? You multiply the numbers by the place values. You multiply the numbers, a little scribbly there. Multiply the numbers by the place values, and then add them up. So it's as simple as that. I'm just going to multiply these numbers. So 4, it doesn't matter where you start. This will be 1600. 4, just use your calculator. 4 times 400, just use your calculator. 11 times 20, 220, right? 2 times 11 is 22. Throw the 0 in the back. 1 times 6 is 6. And then just add those up. What is that? 6, 2, 18. So that's the number 1,826. This funny looking Mayan number is the same as our 1,826. Questions on that? Yeah. Okay, so let's move forward then. So on to my number 2. Now number 2 is similar, but now they get that funny looking symbol in there. So let me do this one with you. So what's going on here? So with this one again, let's figure out what is this number. Can you tell what that number is?
17.
17, right? Yeah, because it's 5, 5, 5, and then the 2, right? Because the bars are 5, the dots are each 1. So that's 17. This one, 5 and 5 is 10. Now, what's that funny thing? That's a 0. It's a shell. They're trying to draw a shell. The Mayans were one of the first. We think they may be the first group to ever make a symbol for 0. You know, basically, as far as what we know about ancient history right now, is that it looks like they were probably the first to come up with a 0. So that's their symbol for a 0. It's a shell. And then this is 5, 5, and 2, right? So this is a 12. All right. So now let's write next to that the place values. What places? This is the 1s place. Remember, you start at the bottom and you go up. And then the 20s place, the 400s place, and this is the 8,000s place. So again, you don't need to memorize those. Just put those right on your notes for the exam. No purpose in memorizing. Just make sure you know how to operate in the system. All right, and so what do? We just multiply, don't we? And that's if that seems strange to you, that's exactly what we do in our system, right? If I write the number 5,382, you know that 5 is multiplied by its place value, isn't it? That 5 is multiplied by 1,000. That's why it's 5,000. It's 5 1,000s. It's 5 in the thousands place. That'll seem strange to the younger folks you teach at first. So that's why we're doing Mayan, so you see how it can be awkward at first. It makes you think more intentionally about what we do in our system. It's exactly the same thing they're doing in the Mayan system. It's base 20. So use your calculator. What is this, 80, I think it's 96,000. Yeah, right. And then the next one, now 0 times anything is?
0.
That's just 0, huh? And then 10 times 20, that just adds a 0 at the back, just be 200. 17 times 1, that's easy. That's just 17. Add them up. So it's going to be 96,217. That's what that big old weird looking Mayan number is. It's 96,217. Are we good there? Okay, so here it is again. Last call for any questions on number 2. We good? All right, so feel free to grab me after if you had more you wanted to talk about. Let's go to number 3. So 3 and 4 are going to be a little bit harder because we're going the other direction now. See how they're starting us with a normal number. That's a normal 3,517. And they want me to change it to one of those Mayan numbers. It's multiple choice, right? It's going to be one of those 5 weird looking Mayan numbers. Which one of those is the correct Mayan number? Well, let me show you the process. So I'm going to get a fresh screen here, 3517. I'm going to come down here. So changing from Mayan, nope, that's not right, from normal, which is base 10, our system, base 10, Hindu Arabic, to Mayan. That's more difficult. How do we do it? Step number 1. Write the Mayan place values up to the largest place that is still less than your number. So the first step, it's kind of an awkward sentence. Let me show you what I'm saying there. I'm going to start writing the place. I'll do it right over here. So this is the ones place. You know the next one. You'll just have these right in your notes. The 20s place. The 400s place. And then the next one would be the
8,000.
8,000
place, right? But we don't need those. Forget it. Why? Well, my number's 3517, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, 3517. Right. So our number's 3517. So we don't need any 8,000s. Does that make sense? To represent 3,517, you don't need any 8,000s to do that. So that's what I mean by write the Mayan place values up to the largest number that's still less than your 3,517. So I'm going to stop at the 400s place. That's as big as I need to go. So that's the first step. Second step, divide your number by the highest place. So that's 400s place, right? That's the highest place that I need to work with. I don't need any 8,000s. So take my number, take my 3517 number, and divide by 400. Use your calculator. You'll be able to use your calculators on the test, of course. 3517 divided by 400. I'm getting 8.7925. 8.7925. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, that means how many times does 400 go into our number, into our 3517 number? How many 400s are in there? Well, 8.7925. There's 8 of them and then a portion of another one. So that means we don't need this decimal. Get rid of it. Just take the 8, put over here 8. That means there's 8 complete 400s in my number. So I'm going to need 8 400s. That's what that means. So you just grab the whole number, chuck the decimal. I'll show you what we're going to do with the decimal stuff, but for now, just chuck it. You don't need it. Just grab the whole number, 8 whole 400s. Our number, our 3,517, has 8 400s in it, is what that means. Okay, next step. Step 3. Feel free to speak up if I can clarify anything. Take the whole number that you just got and multiply by the place. So that's 8 times 400, right? I'm taking the whole number we just got times the place it's in. It's in the 400s place. That's 3,200. Okay, what do I do with that? Subtract from the original number. Subtract that from the original number. So I take my original number, 3517, and I subtract the 3,200, which leaves 317. 317 left to go. That tells you how much you have left. You see what's happening there? You see, because 8 400s represents 3,200, right? 3,200. And we have to, our original number was that we're trying to represent is 3,517. So to represent an entire 3,517, you use 8 400s, which is 3,200, which leaves you 317 left to go. So using the other symbols that remain, using this in this spot, I need to represent 317 more. I have 317 left to go. Questions so far? All right, I'm going to keep moving. You feel free to speak out. Step 4.
Oh, sorry, I apologize. Can you kind of go over number 3 one more time? I was having a hard time trying to do my problem and kind of like pay attention at the same time.
Yeah, no, I know it's tricky. Yeah, good. I hope you guys do have your homework open right now and you're able to do that. Yeah, so I just once I get the 8 there, I just multiply that whole number by the place value. So I just took the 8 times the 400, the whole number times, you got 3,200, and then subtract that from your original number. So you take your 3,517, our original number we started with, and subtract the 3,200, and that gives you 317 left to go. We have 317 left to represent. And next, you just do it again. So step 4, divide what's left by the next, I should say the next place. You just go down the list, starting at the highest place value and moving down. So divide what's left by the next place.
Okay. So then you would divide 317 by the 20s, correct?
Exactly. Good. So take the 317 and divide by the 20s. Use your calculator. I have no idea what that is. Divide by 20. Looks like it's 15.85. Again, we chuck the decimal. We just want the whole number. Move that up. That means 15 20s. That means in the number 317, 15 20s go in there. That's how many 20s are needed that can fit into the 317. 20 divides in to 317 15 whole times. And then you just do the same thing that we did before. So I'm going to, if you got that down, I'm going to switch to a new page. I'm going to take that number and I'm going to multiply, right? 15 times 20 and subtract. So let me let you copy that down. Like maybe I should, the problem is when I switch page, it does the whole page. Yeah, I can't, it's all or nothing. So, so let me do that. So 8 times 400's place. Okay. So let me bring back what you had. We had 8 in the 400s place, 15 in the 20s place. This is a 15 in the 20s place. All right, and now we're coming down to the ones place. So here we are like that, right? Everybody got that copied down before I roll on down? Because I'm just going to do it one more time. What I've got to do, I've got to do this step. I got to do the whole number subtraction thing again. So that's going to be step 5. So every time, so you divide and then you subtract. You divide, you subtract. You divide, you subtract. You just keep going. So I'm going to do it. Well, really, this will be our pretty much our last step. So take the whole number times the place. So that's going to be 15, right? I'm doing this right here. 15 times 20, which is 300. 300, and then subtract from what was left. What was left was 317, right? This is what was left. Subtract 300, equals 17 left now. And that's your last answer. 17. You have 17 left to go. Right? You see how 15 20s is 300 and then 17 more. So we've represented the entire 317. And so that's our answer. That's our Mayan number. We just have to make it into Mayan symbols, but that's the easy part, right? 17, you know how to do that. 3 bars, that's 15, 16, 17. And 15 is just 3 bars. And 8 is a bar and 3 dots, isn't it? So there's our number in the Mayan system. So we just made the entire number in the Mayan system.
Nice.
So let's go back and find that answer in the Mayan. So if I come back up to here and look at the multiple choice, let me notice how they pretty much all have the 17 on the bottom, don't they? So what was it after that? It was
3 bars.
And then it was 15 and then 8. Going up 15 and 8. So let me go back here. 15 and 8. So here's 15, here's 15. Oh, and there's the 8. So there it is. It's that one, right? There's the multiple choice answer. There it is. So let me go back to this page or even this page. Anything else I can answer there? Okay, so how do we, let's do this. So this one's 4,000, a little bigger number here. 4,325, my number 4. They want us to figure out which of those Mayan numbers is the right one. So let me bring it, so 4,325, okay. So normal, this is question 4. Normal to Mayan and 4,000, what was it, 4,325, okay. 4,325. So 4,325, there we go. Okay, so step 1, write the place values, I should say the Mayan place values up to the largest place that is still under our number. So go to the largest place value that's still under our number. So we'll start over here with the ones place, and then we go up to the 20s place. We go up to the 400s, and then the next one would be, again, 8,000s, but we don't need any of that because the largest one that is still under our number would be the 400s place, just like last time. All right, so step 2. Divide your number by the largest place. You start in the largest place value. So that'd be the 400. So my number is 4,325 divided by the place value, the 400s place. Use your calculator. I'm getting 10.8125. Throw away the decimal, keep the whole number. So 10. We need 10 400s. That makes sense because that's 4,000, isn't it? We need 10 400s, 10 in the 400s place that fit into our number 4,325. And so then you take, oops, scribbly there. Then you take the whole number times the place. So I'm going to take the, what is it, the 10 times the place it's in, right? 10 times 400, 10 times the 400s place. And that's 4,000. And remember what you do is you subtract from the number. You subtract that from your original number. So I'll take 4,300 325, subtract 4,000, that leaves 325. But what am I doing? I'm getting confused. Just kidding. All right, no more of that. 325 is what is left. I don't put it on the thing. 325 is what is left to go, right? Because we've represented 10 400s. 10 times 400 is 4,000. That means 4,000, doesn't it? 10 in the 400s place, 10 400s is 4,000. And so that means we have 325 left to go to represent our entire number. All right, so then we keep going. So feel free to speak up if you have questions. I'm watching the chat box. I don't see anything. You feel free to speak up as well. So let's keep going. And then we divide. That's not the word divide. Divide what is left by the next place. So the next place value. So I'm going to divide, what is it, 325, which is left, by the next place value, which is the 20s place. Let's see what I get here. I'm getting 16.25. Again, throw away the decimal. Just grab the whole number. That's the next spot. We need 16 20s to represent our number 325. 16 20s go in there. 20 goes in there 16 whole times, right? That's what the dividing means. It means how many times one thing goes into the other, right? So we're saying how many 20s go into 325? Well, 16 whole 20s go in there. And so then, step 5, whole number multiplied times, right? Multiplied by the place. So what is that? That's 16 times the 20s place, which is 320, and then you subtract that. Subtract from what you had left. So what did we have left? We had left right here, 325 left minus 320. That only leaves 5 left now, and so that's our last spot, 5 left. And there we go. So do you see how that represents the whole 4,325? Right? That's the entire number, because it's 10 400s, which is 4,000, 16 20s, which is 16 20s, it says right here, is 320. So that's 4,320, and then 5 ones, 4,325. That's exactly the 4,325 in the Mayan system. And now we just changed to Mayan symbols, but that's the easy part, right? This will just be a bar. This is going to be bar, 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 dot. Like that. For 16, this is 5. This is bar, bar for 10. So there's the Mayan version of 4,325. So then you just go up to the multiple choice and you find that answer. Go find that answer. So we're looking over here for bar, and 5, 16, 10. 5, 16, 10. So let me come back up here. 5, 16. Oh, there it is right here. Yeah, beautiful. It's this one, isn't it? See how that's 5, that's 16, and that's 10. So it's this answer right there. Oh, wait, you're not seeing that, are you? Got to refresh. There we go. It's this answer right here. 5, 16, 10. There's our answer. 5, 16, 10. There we go on that.